Hi, everyone. My name is Sabrina Rising. I'm a spiritual teacher, an intuitive guide, and a psychic medium. And for many years, I have been guiding transformational processes and coaching programs that have helped people find peace, heal, and create a life that they love. And I wanted to come in here personally, first of all, to thank you for watching me, for subscribing. I've been enjoying doing the Oracle Hour every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. So if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and join us on Wednesday so you can get your spiritual questions answered and possibly connect with your loved ones. And I wanted to also share a little bit more about me personally and how I became a healer, how I got into this work, what led me to the intuitive arts, because this is something I'm so passionate about. So as a child, I grew up in a very passionate, very intense East Coast Italian family and very traditional Catholic Italian family as well. And there was not a lot of space for my intuitive gifts to be seen and recognized. And there was a lot of loss and tragedy and sadness in my family. I didn't really learn very good coping skills. In fact, very oftentimes throughout my childhood, I was left alone to cope with some very big emotions, which I didn't have the tools for. And so, like so many of us, I internalized a lot of this pain, and I started to develop these, destructive behaviors to find a relief for the pain. And I struggled with eating disorder behavior. I mean, that plagued my life for a very long time. I struggled with smoking cigarettes. I dabbled in drugs. I used alcohol to regulate my nervous system and to escape my pain. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I really sort of grabbed onto whatever relief, whatever temporary relief I could find in order to feel well inside. And it wasn't until I reached a sort of breaking point, which we all do, those of us on a healing journey often get to that point where you reach a bottom in your life and you make a decision. I made a decision that I had enough, that I wanted to turn my life around. And I had done all the things. I had left home and I had dove into the corporate world and climbed up the ladder and, became a director of sales and started my own business, doing software consulting as well. And, as much as I was enjoying the work that I was doing, I just wasn't well inside. And I felt very empty, very alone, and very disconnected to my essence. I had essentially developed a persona of a person that was okay on the outside, but really completely not well on the inside, very unhappy and very lonely. And so I made a decision to immerse myself in the healing arts. And around that time in my life, there was not a lot of support. There wasn't a lot of resources available to us like we have today, for example. And so I really had to carve out my own path to healing. And so I did that. I started with meditation. I started with spiritual community. I started going to retreats and joined groups and started dabbling in different modalities. I spent a lot of time in the Course in Miracles. I spent a lot of time studying David Hawkins and all this, his map of consciousness and all of his books. I joined different communities so that I could feel supported and held and seen, and I could have the experience of unconditional love. See, as a child, I grew up feeling like there was something wrong with me. And I played those beliefs out. I manifested the evidence that there was something wrong with me because that was the belief that I had. And so through my own healing journey, I was able to come online. It started with embodying a profound experience of unconditional love for myself, and just learning to accept my body, learning to accept my emotions as a sort, not only a source of information, but also a gift, an opportunity to be with my pain so I can go deeper into loving myself. And so I think that that's an important reframe for those of you that are struggling with pain and suffering. To coming out of victim consciousness, allows us to take personal responsibility for the quality of our lives. And that's what I had to do in order to get well. It didn't serve me to stay angry at my caregivers. It didn't serve me to feel victimized by the environments that I elected to put myself in. It didn't serve me to continue to destroy myself, because, ultimately I wasn't getting my needs met. And all humans want is to get their needs met. That's all we want. We want to have our needs met. We want to feel connected. We want to feel a sense of belonging. We want to feel a sense of hope and inner peace. And ultimately a sense of, living our purpose, right? And happiness. And so I dedicated myself to inner work, and I made getting well a priority. And through the process of doing that, I discovered my intuition. Everything started to come online. As soon as I stopped hurting myself physically, and I maintained abstinence. I maintained, clarity and a regular spiritual practice. I started to heal inside. My body got well, and when the body gets well, the mind gets clear, and the soul, the heart starts to open up. Feelings start to come up to the surface. All those feelings that I had suppressed for many, many years started to present themselves, so that I could process them, so that I could work through them, and feel, the fullness of them with compassion and non-judgment. So it was through developing unconditional love, compassion, and non-judgment that I was truly able to heal myself. And amazing things started to happen. I started to really develop my intuitive abilities, all of the clairs. I started to see things and hear things and feel things and know things before they happened. And this is something that really helped me in my personal practice, was just developing that connection to the spirit realm, and understanding that I was connected to universal intelligence, to God, to nature. To me, these are all synonyms of each other, in terms of the way that I use the word God. And so of course, I came alive, and all I wanted to do was shout this from the mountaintops. Wanted to talk about the power of meditation, and the power of community support, and all the practices of unconditional love and self-love that I was applying in my everyday life. This is all I wanted to share with other people. So I quickly realized that I couldn't go back to my corporate life, and that my life had taken on a whole new meaning. So I started to just share conversations with people. I started talking to friends, and then asked them to refer me clients, and they told two friends, and they told two friends, and they told two friends. And it was really through word of mouth that I was able to develop a successful coaching practice, which I have been now running for the last 20 years. And it was through the process of talking with people and really helping them through that I was able to see patterns and ways of operating that allowed me to create very, very specific curriculums that embody all the principles of healing, but that guide us through very specific journeys. For example, inner child work. So bringing us back to early childhood conditioning and the beliefs that we learned in childhood, and the importance of healing the relationship with mother and father, which is essentially integrating our own masculine and feminine energy, the importance of being able to let go of resentments. This is key and foundational work for anybody who's trying to have inner peace. For me, it was huge to be able to just let go of all my resentments and find that place of forgiveness and acceptance in my own heart, so that I could move on from what had happened to me, and live in the now, and live in the current version of me that I'm trying to create, that I'm helping other people create, so that we can create a life that we love. And so I'm very passionate about facilitating inner work. And I'm very passionate about doing it in a way that has integrity, that is ethical, that really encompasses the whole human being, right? We can't, jump into the esoteric arts or the psychic arts or even mediumship abilities without having fully understood ourselves, without having fully done our own inner work. And this is part of the reason why I've created my own facilitator training program. And I've guided many people through this program over the years. We start from, early childhood, just so that we can fully understand our programming, what lives in our subconscious, what are the patterns that we are playing out, how can we fully regulate ourselves in a world where we're constantly triggered, and be able to do that in a sense where we can hold space for others without allowing our own pain to filter our view of what the other person is going through, right? And so it's important as a facilitator. I could talk about this all the time, about how important it is to be able to hold clean space, where it's not about you, but it's really about the person that you're holding space for. And so there are several different processes that I've gone throughout the course of my life that have helped me embody this identity, this role as a healer, as a facilitator. And it's really through constant surrender and constant practice, and just learning to listen to my own intuition in terms of whatever the next right step is for my life, that I've been able to evolve into a person who can see, who can feel, who can hear, and who can guide. And so this has been my journey. And so throughout the course of my life, I've come across different modalities that have also helped me develop these skills. I spend a great time in the nonviolent communication body of work, and I talk about that a lot in some of my videos. If you have a chance to check those out, very important for us to have a process for our internal life, for our inner landscape. Then it's also important to be able to navigate our process when we're in a relationship with other people, to have responsible, compassionate, empathetic language that really complements the relationship that we're building with ourselves. So I'm very passionate about nonviolent communication as well. It's one of the modalities I teach, along with meditation and mindfulness, all of which are beautiful. And also being able to connect to our loved ones is also a tool that I really enjoy, that helps us find acceptance and find peace with that relationship that perhaps was taken from us, either, before we were ready, or, in terms of leaving us in a state of shock or disbelief. And so mediumship can really be a powerful way to connect with our loved ones. It's also a very powerful way to have the direct experience of universal intelligence, to realize that love never dies, it simply changes form, and that we have access to that love forever, for as long as we're willing to experience it, to feel it, and to open ourselves up to it, and more importantly, to believe it. So that's a little bit about me. I am thrilled to share with you that I have a facilitator training program in place. I have a one-to-one container. So if you're someone who's looking to develop yourself as a healer, as a facilitator, and you have no idea where to start, you don't know how to get your ducks in a row, you don't even know maybe essentially what modalities you want to offer, or how to guide people from the early stages of their development through taking responsibility for their conditioning, through putting the actions in place to be able to change, the circumstances of their lives, along with the spiritual practice that really helps facilitate and accelerate those processes. If you are someone who is drawn to holding space for other people, then I invite you to check out the link. I will leave it here below in the video, and you can come and apply and have a conversation with me to see if the work that I teach resonates for you. I also have a group facilitator training coming up at the end of February. So it'll be a community class, which I love to teach in community. So if that's more of a fit for you, then the information is the same. The body of work is the same. It's just one is a one-on-one container and the other one is more in a group setting. But ultimately, I think it's important for there to be a body of work that is not only, a mirror, a reflection of my own healing journey and all of the most effective aspects of the work that I've done that have helped me in so many areas of my life, from my health to my, my physical health, my mental health, my emotional well-being, to be able to find meaningful partnership, life partnership with a wonderful human, to be able to create the family I've always wanted, to be able to, live the life that I've always wanted, to be able to learn how to be in the world, right? To be successful on a material level without losing myself is very important, especially for those on a healing journey, those on a spiritual path. We want to always stay connected to that pure essence of unconditional love and inner peace, and ultimately to be of service to others. And it's my firm belief that part of the healing process is learning to share it with others. So if you're someone on a healing journey and you feel very drawn to helping others because you're receiving so much, this is a natural human tendency we're receiving so much love and so much peace and so much relief that it's bringing us so much joy. We want to share that with other people. We want to spread the love, right? And so if you are someone who's passionate about sharing this with other people, and there is a very structured, healthy, safe, and viable way for you to do this in a way that fulfills you and brings you joy, that actually helps other people and creates lasting, sustainable change. It takes one person to create that ripple effect in the lives of so many others. As one of the most rewarding experiences I have as a facilitator is that I can have a conversation with my client. I can walk them through a process and watch the light come on and watch them have some relief and some major transformation take place. And then they turn around and they create magic in their families, in their jobs, in their communities, in their environments. And so we never really know the full magnitude of the impact of being able to hold sacred, unconditionally loving, healing space for another person. But what I can tell you is that those of us that have found true meaning in this life have found some measure of service. And that's been true for me in my life in terms of being able to offer this work to other people and to dedicate myself to this to help human beings all over the world eliminate suffering, find true meaning, and ultimately find peace with themselves. So that's a little bit about me. If you have any questions about the programs I teach, if you are looking for guidance about where to start on your own healing journey, or if you just want to leave a comment below and say hello, please do so. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you soon.